California dreaming about you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another review from Roy's Reviews, and today we have got a RTA review for you. Yes. We are looking at the Wotofo Bravo. So the Bravo from Wotofo. So sitting here on top of my Strider. So what I'm going to do, folks, we'll take you down below, have a look around the box, we look around the RTA itself, and we'll put a wee build into it, and a couple of little things in there, the Atty stand from Steve Dilligaf Porter, and the Coily tool as well in there. So, and we'll put a little build into it, then we'll come back up top again after, and we'll have a wee talk about it. See you in a moment. So here we are down at the table with the Wotofo Bravo. Just a quick look around the box. So on the front here we have got Bravo RTA. On this side we've got Wotofo, www.wotofo.com. On the back you've got the kit contents, which is one Bravo RTA, one user manual, one standard glass, one 510 drip adapter, one bubble glass, one Japanese cotton, one extra screws and O-rings, and a bag of comp wire in it. It's just got the normal warnings on there. Made in China, manufactured by Wotofo, 2016. So yes, it is an old one. All your usual warnings across the bottom there. I'm not going to mimic the other reviewers that call them all different names. And Wotofo on that side. That side Wotofo with your colour on there as well, and on this side you've got your colour as well, and also your scratch and sniff authenticity. So, and it's a Bravo RTA blue on your serial number there as well. Okay, so you open up the box. It's a slide box, and again with Wotofo products, they are good quality boxes. It's a quite sturdy box that comes on. And you open up and straight away you see your user manual there for the Wotofo Bravo. It comes quite thick because it comes in all the different languages, as you can see down that side. And then it just lets you see how to separate the base and what it looks like, and how to put the cotton or the coils in, and also how to put the cotton in, and how to fill, etc., and the copper ring. So there you go, and then it goes into the French. So we'll set that off to the side as well. And here it is. Okay, I already have the bubble glass pre-installed onto this because I've been using it. So that means I've got two spare glasses. So like that, because the one that comes standard with it, and it gives you another spare one. So you've your two standard glasses there. And that would be where bubble glass would be. And here you have your Wotofo Bravo. 510 drip adapters in there. Okay, so I'm just going to use one of these. This is a Atty stand from Steve Dilligaf Porter. Piston ring Atty stand. Absolutely fantastic job, well manufactured. I will put a link down below for Steve's page. And it comes with a 510 mount it on there, so you can put it on and it holds everything nicely together. So we'll set that to the side, and you take out this bottom foam. Underneath here you have your screwdriver, you have your comp wire coils, and then in here you've got your O-rings. You can feel them, O-rings and the spare screws. Put all that back in there so we won't lose it, and put that back on. Okay, so here we have the Wotofo, the Bravo itself. Stop saying Wotofo, the Bravo. As you can see, we'll start from the top. You have your drip tip up there. You have knurling round the edge for the top fill. So let's take the top fill cap off. This knurling really does make it easy to take it off, and it's sealed then with O-ring in round the top there. Beautifully machined, no sharp edges on there at all, and the blue colours the whole way through on there. And your 510 is very tightly fitted. I'm going to take that, and again it's the standard, and it goes standard 810 drip tip, should I say, which has got a little lip. Don't know how well it's going to come out in camera. There's a little lip just in there for the drip tip adapter to sit down onto, just there. So when you push it in, it sits nice and snug and tight, and you can't see it through that side. Okay, so at the top then, we have got the two massive kidney shaped fill holes. You've got your chimney down there, and then if we take, it's going to have to come off this to take it apart, so I do apologise. Take it apart, we'll look at the deck in just 2 seconds, and as you can see there is doming in the inside, and the beautiful colours still go through. It's a purpley colour inside. Do apologise, it's a wee bit wet, but it's because I've just washed it from using it. A little bit of doming, but there's a ridge also in there as well. And on the chimney itself you have got Bravo engraved on the side there as well, nothing else around the side, and the bubble glass. Okay, so the deck is a fairly straightforward deck. It's got a clamp system on this side, which you have to put to the shared post. Well, it's 2 screws to take the clamp up. You can actually take one side up to roughly hold one side in before you take up the other side to put it in. As you can see, there's enough big room there for the clamp coils to go in. And then you've got your airflow. I'll get the tweezers again. Sorry, knocking the camera. You have an big airflow port there, and a big airflow port there. And then you've got these 4 little holes down for your wick to go into. So 1, 2, 3, 4 little wicking holes which drop down to the bottom of the deck. Massive airflow adjuster here, which does stop. So once you have it fully open in that position, it stops and doesn't go any further. And if you take it fully closed, it stops and doesn't go any further. And it's beautifully and smooth to do that with, to take round. Okay, so that's a look round. We'll go to the base of the Bravo. And on the base then you have got Bravo, the CE mark, don't vape in a bin, and the Wotofo symbols there. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on here because I'm going to put a build into it, and going to use some of Bill Byrne's coils. Okay, so the coils that I'm going to use today are, if the camera decides to focus in on them, there we go. They are fused Claptons NI80 in stainless steel 316, 0.33 per coil. So we're looking at 0.6, 0.16, 0.17 per coil on here. So I'll get a couple of these out. And again, these are fantastic coils by Bill. So they are really clean. They've taken the extra legs on it. Now this leg has got a little bit bent. I don't know if you can see that at all. Has got a little bit bent just because I've had quite a few of them in the pot. I'll put the lid back on again. And the other thing that you're going to need then, if you're building, well, it's don't have to have, but is a really good idea to have, is one of these, a coily tool. Okay, and this is my custom coily tool with Roy on it. Again, coily tools links will be down below for you to go across. They now have a shop which you can buy things buy the coilies from there. It's just a simple case of measuring across the posts here to find out what leg length you need. Okay, as you can see, that's a 4, if you can see, that's a 4mm. If you go up to 4.5, it's loose 4mm and it sits nice and tight. And if you drop down to 3.5, it gets really tight. So a 4mm leg length is what you want for coiling the Bravo. One thing you should have really is everything ready that you really need to be doing this. And of course my head just goes and I think I have everything ready and I don't really. So here we have the coily tool and we have our coils. So what I need to do is cut these now to the 4mm. So it's just a simple case of popping it into the 4mm, holding it, taking your snips and going snip one leg, snip 2 legs, so that's 1 coil done. Take your second coil, fit it in. Sorry, this is going off camera, folks. And once you've got it in, snip again. Oh, that one went flying, and snip again. It's as simple as that to get your coils cut to the leg length required. Take the wee bits out of the way so I don't get myself stabbed. Okay, and then once you've got your Bravo, it's just a matter then of having the clamps down, and then you'll need something to put your coils onto, just to hold them in place, and then simply slot it into place. And then take the second coil, and again slotting it into place. It can be a little bit fiddly. And then once you've got both the coils under the clamps, you just need to screw them back in again. Okay, so then it's just a matter of screwing down, or screwing up the clamps, or screwing down the screws, whatever way you want to look at it. And take them up a little bit at a time on either side, and then taking the middle ones, because you want to make sure that you get good connection across the clamps onto the coils, and that the coils aren't sitting on top of each other, because then you wouldn't have good connection. I've just found where I put the star head screwdriver. So you get them nice and tightened up. You don't want any shorting, you don't want the coils to be crossing. And then it's just a matter of getting the coil straightened up and piddling it down over the air holes. Now I have found that closer to the air holes you are, the better. And you want them centered over them to get the best flavor production from this. Looking pretty okay there. And then just give them another wee tighten just to make sure everything is held firmly in place. So there we have it. Coils in there. Now I am going to transfer this across onto the strider from Steve's stand, just so I can pulse the coils up before I actually wick them, so I can get the coils bedded in and just check the ohmage on them. So drop that down and just get the coils pulsed in. Oh, I just love the smell of new coils, and the colours of these coils. The bills are fantastic. I don't know if they're coming up, if they're going to show on the camera or not. Just make sure that's clear from around the edges, and you should get your coils should glow perfectly to even like that. And again, that's the sign of Bill's fantastic coils. You know, that is in real time, folks. I'm not going to speed that up or anything like that. That's in real time from me doing those. Okay, so the cotton I'm going to be using today is this bad boy, Fusion Cotton, and it's basically, if you want to go around the outside, it says made in the Philippines for vapors by vapors, 100% natural cotton, highly absorbent and temperature resistant. And it comes as a big fluffy cloud. So, get a wee bit more out. So, say the cotton comes in a big fluffy roll, and you just snip across like so to take a wodge of it. You aren't going to use it all. I like the cotton like this because it's actually less wasteful as well at times. And then just make sure that it's all even, so you can take off any spare bits that are coming across. And then it's just a matter of, it's a pure judgment to how much cotton you're going to need to go onto it. And when you start working with the stuff, you end up starting really to realise, and I haven't used the Bravo in a wee while, so it's back to the good old judging. And pop it through. You do want to feel it pulling on the coils, but not too tight. So, take the second piece and do the same again, and hopefully some of these will still be awake and not gone to sleep. That's my rhythmic, hypnotic voice. But so go, work the cotton and pinch and twist, pinch and twist. And I tend to like to do it from the opposite side, but I suppose it's everybody's preference to what way they actually do it. And you pull it through, just back and forth, just to make sure that then you loosen up in the centre of the coil. So there you have, you've got your wicks hanging out, but no, you couldn't vape it like that. So I tend to go to the edge of the RTA and just literally cut away from it as such, and do the same at the other side, like so. And then you fluff up the edges just to make sure that the edges are susceptible to taking in any of the juice. And you do the same on this side, and the same on that side, and then pull away any of the loose fibres that happen to be hanging off. So once you've then done that, it's a matter then of feeding it using sharp tweezers or a screwdriver, feeding it down the juice wells down into the bottom. And you don't want it too tightly packed, and you just want to make sure that you've got this one side from each going down into those holes. Because if it's too packed, you end up getting dry hits. If it's too loose, you end up getting a flooded deck. Now the good thing about this, which I forgot to mention, don't know if you can see it on the camera here, the air hole is actually raised up a good wee bit, so it does give you a bit of breathing space for juice that does happen to come feed back up through the juice holes onto the deck, top part of the deck, so that it doesn't flood. When I first started using this, I used to get a wee bit of flooding and just coming back down through the air holes, but that's because I used to be very stingy with the cotton and didn't maybe put enough into it. And then just I like to tidy up and just make sure everything's looking nice and tidy, and it's not overhanging the screws, because across here, round here is where the chimney actually attaches on. So you want to make sure that there's no cotton. Don't know how well. Yeah, just down round there where my thumb is now, there is the ridges for the screws for the chimney to go onto. So you want to make sure there's no cotton hanging out over the edges. So you're now ready for juice. You're now ready for your juice to go into. And what juice am I going to use today? I'm going to use this underground floss. Huge big bottle here, and it's Vape Underground in Hackney, and it's a 70-30 PG. It's not suitable for under 18s, and tells you your flavours in there. So this is a candy floss juice that I picked up at Manchester Expo, and as you can see, it's lovely and steeped now. Look at the colour, it's lovely and pink. So a huge big bottle to use, and then you make sure you get it, soak up your coils well and truly. So you get it onto the coils, onto the edge of the cotton, so that's pulling it through, giving it a wee pulse to pull it in, a wee bit more, wee pulse again to get it put in, bit more. Oh, look at that. Oh, I can smell candy floss. Oh, it just smells like you're at the fun fair. You smell that candy floss cooking. That's what that actually smells like at the moment. And then you put your chimney onto the top with your glass, like so. Make sure it's tightened down, and you haven't tightened your RTA down too much, so you're blocking the airflow. And then next thing to do is just to fill up the tank. Oh, the smell of candy floss is really, oh. Folks, I wish we had smell-o-vision just right at this moment, because it really does. It just smells like candy floss is being made. And there we have it. The Bravos are all filled. Open up your airflow, and then you want to check that you've no flooding coming down, and you've also got your air bubbles going up in just for your wicking. And there's my bubbles coming up for a wicking, as you can see there. Look at that. Lovely bubbles coming up there. And still no juice coming out the bottom. So join me up top again, folks, where I shall take it for a vape, and we'll see what's happening. See you up there. Candy floss. I love my candy floss. But I'm not here to talk about the juice. I'm here to talk about one of my go-to RTAs. I love my RTAs. I do a lot of driving, so as much as I love dripping with taste and everything else, because of drive, you can't drive and drip. Don't drip and drive. So I use tanks and squonkers quite a lot. And after getting this tank last May at Expo, I've hardly stopped using it because it sits perfectly on my Strider, and like, who doesn't love my Strider? Go back and watch the review on that. The airflow on this, folks, you can have it way wide open. As such, if you close it, good luck. You get a really tight draw if you want to do a mouth to lung on it. I did forget to say that these coils are 0.16, so that's very good, Bill, very close to what you were saying they're going to be. Airflow half open. We'll get this wee thing cranked up to, well, let's just go for my normal 60.1 watts. performs perfectly where I normally like it. We'll take us up to the maximum of the 75 watts. Come on, camera. There we go. This is the maximum 75 watts for the Strider. And it performs just as exactly as you'd want it to. Folks, I know this is an older tank. It's been out there, and there's hundreds of other tanks have come out since this has come out and everything else. But it's still being sold. It's, you know, you go onto the websites out there, search Wotofo Bravo, and you'll find it for sale. And you're looking in around the 19, 20 pounds mark for this. For that price range, the flavour of it is great. It has been really trusting me. I say I've got the bubble glass on this. You get the straight glass and you get the spare straight glass, and it's Wotofo. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm finding Wotofo is a really good sturdy brand. There's bigger. What can we say? There is bigger and better out there, but this is perfect for what I use it for, and I'm giving this a solid 9.5 out of 10 as a tank. So folks, if you've enjoyed my review, give me a thumbs up and drop me a comment down below. If you haven't enjoyed the review and you're giving me a thumbs down, still leave me a comment, because I still read, I like the comments and everything else. And somewhere up here there will be a link back to another review. I will put the review, folks, for the Strider, because that's good, and then down here there'll be a subscribe button. Get subscribed to me and help me along with the subscribers. Just remains me to say good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you're watching this review. Take care now. Bye.
California dreaming about Rufus boy, let me love boy, what you know. Rufus boy.